Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with a bit of a different type of video today. As you know, I've been putting out content here on YouTube about Spain for the last few years, and every now and again I like to check other people's content to see if my ideas are in line with theirs. I found a couple of blog posts about some of the biggest mistakes people make before they move to Spain, so I'm going to have a look at some of the points they make in those blog posts and see whether I agree with them or not. Now, this video is sponsored by Skillshare, but I'll tell you a little bit more about Skillshare during the video. Now, the first blog post I'm going to look at today is called The 7 Biggest Mistakes Before Moving to Spain and How to Avoid Them. And it's from a blog called sojourneys.com. And the first mistake that this blog writer points out is not learning enough Spanish before you come to Spain, especially vosotros. And this is a mistake that you should definitely avoid before you come to live in this country. A lot of people obviously think, no worries, I'm not going to learn a lot of Spanish before I come to Spain. I'll pick it up once I get there, and that can be a mistake. Mainly because it can take a long time to pick up the language. A lot of people nowadays learn a little bit of Spanish at high school, and of course that Spanish is going to come in handy, but it might not be enough. In fact, to live comfortably or well in this country, I think you're going to have as a minimum an intermediate level of Spanish, if not an upper intermediate level, to be able to do all of those things that you need to do. Because if you don't speak the language well enough, you're going to have to depend on other people, and that can be a problem. So point number 1, make sure you know enough Spanish before you get here. Now, the other point this person mentions related to language is the vosotros aspect. If you're not familiar with vosotros, it's the second person plural. When you're talking to a group of people, for example, you would say us, nosotros, you, vosotros. And in some Spanish-speaking countries, they don't use this form at all. They use the ustedes form. For example, in South American countries, they might not use vosotros, but here in Spain, vosotros is used all the time. So you're going to have to learn Spanish, including the vosotros tense. Nosotros hemos comido, vosotros habéis comido. Not difficult, but you're going to have to learn those extra tenses if you come to live in this country. Now, another point that this person mentions is related to culture shock, especially when it comes to personal space. That is something that you will have to get used to here in Spain, that the concept of personal space is different than it is perhaps in the United States or the UK or Australia, where people tend to keep a greater distance when they talk to you. Here in Spain, people like to get close. The first thing you're going to do when you meet people is normally give them 2 kisses. So therefore, you're right in that personal space and they're right in your personal space. And also when you have a conversation with somebody, they might be right in your face as well. So that is something that you're going to have to get used to if you come and live in this country. Now, another point that is mentioned in this blog post about mistakes that you should avoid making here in Spain is not visiting enough of the country while you are here. And that's true. A lot of people get stuck in the big cities, whether it be Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia, and they don't see enough of the country. They don't experience the true Spain, in my opinion. They don't go to areas that they are not familiar with. Maybe that's because they don't have a car, they can't travel easily. But let's be honest, it's not difficult to travel around the country. It's not difficult to move between autonomous communities here in Spain. Spain, as I have said on numerous occasions, is a very diverse country. The north is different to the south, the east is different to the west, and there are lots of things to see and do in this country. So if you're living in Spain already or planning to come and live in Spain, remember to travel around the country and get to know the different areas. So a good piece of advice there, in my opinion. And the last thing I'm going to talk about from this particular blog is not fighting against the no pasa nada attitude here in Spain. And if you're not familiar with this no pasa nada concept, basically it means don't worry, everything will be okay. And Spanish people like to use this expression quite a lot. And this is an expression that I have got used to over the years here in Spain. In fact, I use it quite a lot. No te preocupes, no pasa nada. And let's be honest, unless it's a question of life and death, nothing is really that important. Can't get something done today? No pasa nada, we'll do it tomorrow. Can't get a table at your favorite restaurant? No pasa nada, we'll come back another time. You didn't pass your driver's license on the first attempt? No pasa nada, I'll get it the next time. So it is true that a lot of people here don't get stressed out about things that are not important, but I see that as a good thing. Now I'll just interrupt the video here to give a shout out and thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journey. Skillshare offers thousands of inspiring classes on a wide range of topics that include music, photography, freelance and entrepreneurship, business, web development, and much more. Now, if you are planning a move to Spain, you might want to document your adventures, and this Skillshare course by Dan Louis on how to film and edit a travel montage will help you do just that. And learning the local language is fundamental if you want to live in Spain, and on Skillshare you'll find hundreds of classes to help you learn Spanish from scratch or brush up on the Spanish you already know. For me, the main advantage of Skillshare is that it has classes to suit any level. You can be a beginner, a pro, a dabbler or a master, it does not matter. You will find a class to suit you on Skillshare. Another pro is that most Skillshare classes are under 60 minutes with short lessons to fit any schedule. And the first 1,000 people to use the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So click the link below and take advantage of the offer and check out Skillshare for yourself. Now back to the video. Now the second blog post I'm going to look at is from the mylittleworldoftraveling.com website, and some of the points that this blogger points out also. And the first one is a very important one in my opinion. Don't leave things for August in Spain, because in Spain in August a lot of things close down or operate at half gas, so it's very, very difficult to get things done, especially if they are important. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you're trying to do any bureaucratic stuff in August in this country, it's virtually impossible. August is a month for holidays and a lot of people are out of the office. Even if you want to get things done in businesses that do stay open, for example banks, it can be difficult because half of the staff are also on holidays. So you can get some things done, but it might take you twice as long as it would at another time of the year. So a good point there, don't leave things to do for August. And another point this blogger makes, and I'll make it the last point that I talk about today, is do your research before you come. Don't come and live in this country unless you have done the necessary research, especially if you are looking to get a job. Make sure that there is a market for what you want to do and there are jobs available. And it would also be a good idea to research the part of Spain that you want to move to. Do you want to move to one of the warmer parts of the country? Do you want to move to the north where it's going to rain a lot? These are the things that you need to research before you come and live in this country. Do you want to live in a big city? Do you want to live in a small town? Do you want to live in a medium-sized city? Research what you're going to have in each place. And let's be honest, with all the information available on the internet nowadays, there is no excuse not to do the research. Another solid piece of advice from that blogger. So I'll wrap the video up there. Some of the mistakes you can avoid before moving to this country. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the video out as you normally do. Tell us about your experiences moving to this country. If you made some of those mistakes, give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.